We mapped the cosmic Cold War where the Jedi met the Syndicate and analyzed the master plan, the motive, and the wicked grit. From Gotham's gritty alleys to the throne room on Apocalypse, unleashing lore, heavy knowledge from the serpent's verbal exodus. Welcome to the Villainz Lair podcast. Welcome to the Villainz Lair podcast.
And welcome inside the Villainz Lair on a Tuesday. Ryan, Alvin, happy to be joined with you on a Punisher One Last Kill premiere day. We're excited to talk about that. We'll get to that later in the show. But first, Alvin, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. It's Punisher Tuesday. Let's do this.
Yeah, super excited about this one shot we are going to get. Some of the reviews sound really good. So exciting times at Marvel Studios. And speaking of Marvel Studios, we start today's show with some big news. Now, stop us if you've heard this before, but Blade is back in development with the studio. There has been a slew of issues. We remember Mahershala Ali being announced at Comic-Con back in 2019, almost 7 years ago. We're coming up on the 7-year anniversary of Mahershala Ali being announced as the new Blade and taking the stage with Kevin Feige. No script, several directors later, and it now sounds like Deadpool and Wolverine director Sean Levy is, being talked about as being a guy that could get involved with something like that. Now my question is, Levy just directed Deadpool and Wolverine, where Wesley Snipes made his return as Blade. So are we looking at a situation where we're staying with Wesley Snipes, or are we going with the plan with Mahershala Ali?
Say out with the old and in with the new. Let's get a new Blade in there. While it was fun in Deadpool and Wolverine to have Wesley Snipes back, but let's just be honest here, we need new blood as Blade.
Right.
And also, we're still in development. There's no scripts yet. A new director may just be announced. Please don't tease us again. You teased us last time, and it never came to fruition. So let's just do this, okay? Stop messing around here.
Yeah, we're so close. I mean, we even got Ali's voice in the end credit stinger at the end of the Eternals, when he, is talking about the sword to Dane Whitman, and I just feel like we've gone through all this trouble to get a really outstanding quality actor and start to set him up going forward, and I would be surprised if now, we're turning back to Wesley Snipes. I know he had the joke in Deadpool Wolverine, there's only one Blade. And maybe he's right.
I mean, there is only one Blade, but also Blade is pretty much ageless. So, I don't care how much makeup you have. Wesley Snipes looks great, but like I said, I'm being honest here. I just need something new for Blade. I watched all the Blade movies, and I don't need to go back to that. The last installment, Blade, was not even my favorite thing in the world. I mean, Blade 1 and 2, amazing. But, we don't need to start putting Triple H back in those movies, too, So I say let's just start off fresh again with a new face. And
it's funny. Turning to Mahershala Ali it's not like you're going to a young actor in his 30s. This isn't Damson Idris or someone like that. Mahershala Ali's in his 50s. So he just looks young.
True. Yeah.
So,
that's also true.
Maybe it's not like you're going back to a guy who can now play the role for, maybe he could play the role for 10 more years. And Wesley Snipes is, somewhere in his late 50s, early 60s, but it's finding the right story, and I guess the right storyteller. I'm not sure it really even matters who plays the character at this point. I know that they definitely have Midnight Suns coming down the line here, and so you're bringing in characters like Ghost Rider and Moon Knight to form this sort of supernatural version of the Avengers, or a team up. And you're gonna need Blade for that. Blade is an important part of that team, and so while he gets this, maybe this movie, that is Blade centric, you get that, and then you're able to, he becomes the leader, the Iron Man, so to speak, of the Midnight Suns.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you know what, you're right. He is a lot older than what he seems to be, but also at the same time, when it first got announced, he was also a lot younger. So
Sure,
I was
7
still
years
thinking,
younger.
yeah, I was still thinking that a long time ago when it first got announced. So, um, obviously, you age within like 6 years. There's a big difference there, but we shall see. Until they get the script ready, then I'm not going to be hyped at all.
Sure. Do you like the choice of Sean Levy? I mean, obviously he's done a lot of sci-fi stuff with Ryan Reynolds. He did Deadpool and Wolverine, but he also has been a executive producer and a director on Stranger Things. So he does know how to sort of lean into that horror side as well.
Yeah, I mean, with Blade, I think he'd be smart enough not to have the same tone as Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't think they're going that route, uh, and I also don't want them to go the route of your original Blade either. Maybe I need something new. I just remember watching Blade and the X-Men cartoons, the original X-Men cartoons, and if you can have that kind of like that tonish, really like stick to the comic book, I would really love to see that. It's a lot different. The tone is a lot, you can play around with it a little bit more, and it's not going to be the same as the Wesley Snipes one. You just have to change it up at this point.
Yeah. That'll be, and that's an interesting, maybe that's what they haven't been able to nail right, is the tone in these scripts that have failed over and over, and which have led to various directors to step out of this project. Hopefully Mia Goth, who was previously announced to be attached to this, is sticking around in some way, in some shape or form, because she is truly one of this era's scream queens and kind of horror goddesses. Let's move on to another series. Something that I loved as a kid. I was a super, super huge fan of Voltron.
Voltron, defender of the universe.
Exactly. Bring the lions together and the Jizza's the head. If you're citing Wu-Tang references with Voltron. Henry Cavill is in this movie. They've apparently finished shooting, but it sounds like it is no longer getting a theatrical release. We are going straight to Amazon Prime Video, which I think, unfortunately, as theaters continue to adapt into these times, sounds like it may be more of, what we're going to see happen here. And we are getting Voltron in live action, which on one hand, I couldn't be more excited about. Henry Cavill is aboard the cast, as well as Sterling K. Brown. But on the other hand, we get to witness it in our homes, which is kind of cool sometimes. But I mean, you're going to see a giant robot on screen. I'd rather see it in IMAX.
I definitely want to see it in IMAX. I don't want to go straight streaming with this one. What are they thinking? Is it because of the budget, or is it because Henry Cavill is not one of the Paladins? I mean, that's my take on it. If Henry Cavill's not one of the Paladins, maybe we don't have to see it in the big screen. I also do prefer to see it on the big screen rather than straight to streaming.
The lions forming the robot, that's the main character. I mean, it could have been anybody, I think, at this point. I think Henry Cavill's name, helps distribution and maybe get some random people in seats. But I mean, the robot is the main character, and being able to see that on a big screen in IMAX, or just even any theatrical screen, I think it would have been the way to go here. And it's really sad that we are not getting a theatrical release for this movie.
No, you're right. You're right. Voltron is definitely the headliner here, but also Lance is kind of suave leader.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I'm sure they'll do a great job playing Lance. But also I'm kind of remembering when I was a little kid, they had Sven, the original Blue Lion, kind of die in the series, but now I'm recollecting these core memories, and apparently it wasn't in the U.S. version; it was in the Japanese version. My mind is like freaking blown, and I wonder if they're gonna create that drama in the big screen.
Yeah, that'd be great. Stakes always help, any sort of story along the way. And then, that's kind of how Princess Allura got her opening and her chance to become a paladin and hop in a lion there. But yeah, I mean, the cast, other than, it's those two male leads, the paladins are all relative, young unknowns, which is cool. Like, that's, I feel like sometimes studios get way too concerned with, we need this cast to be filled out. It needs to be this major ensemble. And they forget that, films like, look at the original Star Wars with, no one knew who Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford were. And they became big stars because of that property and their performances. So, you don't need the biggest draws, and maybe they feel, because the cast is relatively unknown, that they're afraid of this uh, tanking in theaters a little bit,
Yeah,
and not making enough money to justify the theatrical release. But I ultimately think that the fans of Voltron are going to be really, really disappointed with this.
really, you really think that? I mean, it's always a risk making these nostalgia movies, right? To please the old fans with movies that has never been made yet, that people clamored for decades and decades, and all of a sudden they finally make it, and those lifelong fans of this 80s cartoon is all of a sudden like, oh, now you make it to try to make new lifelong fans of these cartoons or toys that would come out. I mean, that's a risk that they're taking when they wait too long to make, and probably the effects too. I mean,
Well,
you make both.
I think they're excited that they're making the movie and that it exists. I think they're going to be disappointed that it's going straight to streaming.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
As am
because I'm
I.
still super excited that they made it. I
Yeah,
just, the way I'm going to experience it. I mean, I have a nice TV at home, but man, it doesn't compete with, a 30-foot screen.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I got a laser projector, so I'd rather go see it in IMAX. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Maybe they'll have some release in some theaters, and you got to find that little needle in the haystack theater that will play this movie.
Right, right. Well, yesterday on our show, we had a ton of DC news. So from over the weekend, so much news that we had to kind of push some of it today. That we're still excited to talk about. I mean, what are we looking at?
Well, let me tell you a little thing about DC animations. Well, DC has been like really killing it with their animation movies. From Crisis on Infinite Earth trilogy wrapping up, that was great, and now they announced a list of new movies slated in the future, and some of these movies are going to be trilogy with the Batman Nightfall, which I'm super excited about, as you know, with
Definitely.
the infamous cover of Bane breaking Batman's back. So I can't wait to see that one. They're gonna have adventures with Green Lantern, my adventures with Green Lantern. So that should be interesting. How that would tie up with the Lantern Corps series. They have a Starfire animation project going on, which should be interesting if a Starfire is by herself this time around. Uh, DC Superpowers, Creature Commando season 2. The first season was super popular. and I believe it tied in a little bit with Peacemaker too. So people are excited for that one. They have a Blue Beetle animated series, which is hopefully better than the film itself, which was okay. It was cute, but people wanted to see a little bit more like a less of a fun, family-friendly Blue Beetle. And then also they have Harley Quinn and other titles in the project. As you know, they had a very popular Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy team up kind of animated movie that also people love. And there was a lot
they have
of
a really popular comic version as well right now.
There was a lot of sexy time in there, with a little bit of a Harley Quinn and Nightwing tension. I don't know if you've seen that scene, but whoa, getting
interesting. Yeah, I mean, as exciting as that sounds, I'm most excited for this this Batman series. I mean, where Bane essentially heads to Arkham and breaks out the entire Rogues Gallery and sets them free, and has this big fight with Batman and breaks the bat. So no casuals. It wasn't a Christopher Nolan thing. He was paying homage to the Nightfall series that came before it. But if we talked about this yesterday, Bane and potentially getting a team up movie with Deathstroke, and now a 2 or 3 part series with this animated feature, and you're eating good right now. If you're a Bane fan like myself, it's one of my favorite DC villains. So I'm really excited about all the media we're getting with Bane in it, and all the love that character is getting, so that people know, he's more than just he's more than just the version that Nolan and Tom Hardy have portrayed in the Dark Knight Rises film. So I'm super excited to watch these. I love so many of these Batman animated films, from Mask of the Phantasm to Under the Red Hood. Like, those are really, really good movies. And then who doesn't love just the animated series in general? There's the DC and Batman in general. DC, I would just, not even just Batman. DC has always done a great job with their animation. Teen Titans. I mean, we could talk about all these series and all these great cartoons for days. That they have always killed it on the animation side.
I mean, Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, I loved Flashpoint as well. So good.
Injustice, they were all good. And not only that, when they have a multi-part series, you kind of want more. They always leave it at a cliffhanger too. So I can only imagine one of these multi-part series, we end with what you're showing on the screen right now.
I mean, Long Halloween, I think if it hasn't already come out, that's coming out. They've got so many Batman stars, and then now, since they did Ninja Batman, now it's just like every iteration of Batman coming out. Aztec Batman, there's just all these different versions, and it's sort of back into the kind of multiverse of how many different versions can you create. But it's so fun. They're still always very, very entertaining. So I'm really looking forward to these.
Actually, I'm also interested in I believe the name of that movie is Dynamic Duo, which I failed to mention before, and that would be between Dick Grayson and Jason Todd's backstory of becoming Robin. So focusing on those two Robins alone on that animated movie, I'm sure they're gonna have like flashbacks of their backstory to whatever present tales that they're gonna have. I'm actually excited for that one too. So I mean, they have a lot of good stuff coming. I mean, especially with WB and the sale and all that stuff. These films might be their moneymaker, and them releasing the titles this early in development and future releases, I think they have something brewing.
Yeah, it helps get you hype and the tease and the lead up to it. There's a Green Lantern series coming out, and something like Green Lantern where he's able to constantly construct things at the will of his mind and his imagination, and being in outer space. Doing a live action version of all that stuff is certainly doable with what we have today and today's technology. But man, that gets expensive after a while. And when you're able to do stuff like that in animation, you can make it so much more elaborate and have so many characters. And I think that series is going to be really fun, probably a lot better than what they're about to give us in live action, which hasn't inspired much confidence with this, true detective, grounded style. Green Lantern is the last character on Earth that should ever be considered grounded.
Hey, as long as they have seahorses in there, I don't mind if they have a true detective kind of tone. I mean, I love the Lantern Corps, and James Gunn is actually pushing for all these for the film and the TV show to somehow connect, and hopefully the Lantern animation film also connects with all of it, which is very difficult to do. I mean, Star Wars is able to do it and have everything connect together. But with DC, I mean, I don't know if you remember in Arrowverse, they kind of tried to say that was like Earth Prime 1. But now with all these new installments of different universes coming in and different parallel universes, all of a sudden now that it's an even big multiverse of DC. So you got to connect the dots now. I mean, you need a little bit of history lesson, and we might have to give that here at the Villainz Lair in the future.
Yep. Well, where I'm looking forward to it, we'll see. And this is through 2028, so a few years, or a couple, 2.5 years or so of exciting projects coming out. Speaking of exciting projects coming out, we talked about it in the intro because today is the premiere of the special presentation, The Punisher: One Last Kill, premiering tonight on Disney Plus. And we're gonna get Frank Castle, we're gonna get John Bernthal's amazing depiction of the Punisher. It sounds like we're gonna get a little bit of an origin story here, which I feel like in a 44-minute runtime wasn't really necessary, but either way, it sounds like we're getting some of the best action sequences that we've seen on screen of the Punisher. I'm still super excited for tonight's show.
We're gonna get a lot of this.
Yeah,
actually, that sounds like Bruce Wayne too. So very similar in gruntness.
Yeah, I love just when he does that. Just when he's like, it's almost like it helps him charge into battle.
Yeah, he keeps it going too, especially when he's pissed. He's just like, or he gets hurt. He's like, oh. So now every time I get a paper cut or something like that, I just go, ugh. And my wife's like, what the fuck's the matter with you? Like, I'm channeling my inner Frank Castle. That's an awesome freaking poster, by the way.
Yeah, they dropped this yesterday to sort of, tease today's premiere. Hey, Frank, all the guns pointed at him. I have a feeling that's going to be, the theme. I'm hoping that it's like, one long sequence, and the origin stuff is kind of like intercut flashbacks, maybe, because I don't know. 44 minutes, that's half, maybe less than half of what a typical feature film would be. So
44 minutes before the credits pop in too, supposedly.
Correct. Yeah. So you probably get, when you click play, you'll see, we got 50 minutes here, but 44 minutes of content. I haven't seen whether or not there's an end credits sequence, but obviously we know the next time we're going to see Frank is in Spider-Man. So is there some sort of tease? There's no way Tom Holland shows up in this. I mean, that'd be awesome, but I can't see that happening.
I don't think these companies will allow it. I don't, in their contracts, I don't think they're allowed to put him on these Marvel TV shows, legally binding. So maybe an Easter egg or mention, but I don't think you can see Tom Holland in there. I could be
Right.
wrong, but we shall see. But I don't know. I don't expect John Berthel to have like a 20-minute monologue. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
40,
for sure.
44 minutes is definitely a
Gonna
long
fly
time.
by.
Yeah.
Since we're gonna get that origin, some of that origin story. Obviously, his family was murdered, and it sort of pushed him over the edge, and he became the Punisher. What sort of like real life? What would be your real life moment? I mean, let's not go as dark as losing your family. But what's something where you've contemplated, like, been in this scenario, and you've just been so close to becoming the Punisher yourself?
Oh man, so you're saying in a different world, right?
Yeah, let's just
Frank
say like,
Castle, Frank Castle's family never dies, so how he becomes a Punisher in a different sense.
yeah, or even you in real life, like something that just, what could be your Punisher origin story?
Okay, okay. I don't wanna go deep. I don't want to be in my story because I feel like that's bad juju or bad karma. So
Okay.
um,
Okay, for Frank. Give Frank another origin.
I'm gonna stick with Frank Castle's family never dying. So check this out. Check out my little scenario. It's a little bit of a story time. All right, Ryan, a little story time with Frank Castle. If Marvel takes this in a different universe,
Okay.
I want a little bit of profits on my end. Uh, so what if Frank Castle's family never dies, right? Instead, Frank just got really bored in the suburbs, and I feel like he lives in the suburbs of Queens. Queens is kind of like more of a city, but he takes a fishing trip to Atlantic City, a fishing trip. But instead of catching bass, he catches a crippling gambling addiction.
Okay.
So he ends up being in the basement of a sketchy casino owning the Russian mob a cool 2 million. So to cope with stress of the debt, he spirals into a massive, shameful bender of cheap booze, bad drugs, and boardwalk hookers.
Wow.
Yep, this is Frank Castle we're talking about. The Russians want their money, but these are modern mobsters. They know bullets are messy and bring the cops. Instead, they opt for a total, psychological warfare or some shit.
Okay.
Uh, so,
Is Teddy KGB the leader of the mafia here?
okay, sure, why not? But so let's say Teddy, right? Teddy knows that Tuesday night there's a PTA meeting at the kids' middle school. Maria Castle is sitting in the front row, sipping on some coffee, ready for a presentation on the new bake sale budget.
Okay.
Suddenly, the lights dim, the projector clicks on, but it's not a bake sale graph. It's a hostile takeover of the AV Club slideshow presentation. On the slide, Frank is passed out at a blackjack table, drooling on the felt. Slide 2, Frank is buying a suspicious baggie from a guy in a tracksuit outside a strip club. Think about that vision.
Okay.
And the grand finale, Frank wearing his world's best dad t-shirt, looking completely derailed, sandwiched between two Atlantic City escorts in rhinestone bikinis. In the slideshow, gymnasium goes silent. The school principal drops his microphone. Maria is shocked. Frank is supposed to be in the back of the room folding chairs, but instead watching his family break down. So, the next day, Maria files for divorce, leaves him, takes the kids, and Frank grabs his tactical gear and heads down the Garden State Parkway. He's not out to end crime. He's out to murder the mobsters who ruined his family's reputation. And just like that, the Punisher is born.
Yeah, but instead of a skull on his vest, he has like a club, like like you would see on a deck of cards, or
yeah.
or
One
a
of the
spade.
suits. Yeah, one of the suits in the deck of cards is
Yeah, instead of the skull. All
Yeah.
right, yeah, man. He's, that's It's definitely more PG version of what happened, and maybe Matt Murdock could be his divorce attorney.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's how they do this team up. Yeah, that works.
And he realizes that his ex-wife hired Jessica Jones to take incriminating photographs of him at the poker table and within the casino at the strip club.
That's how you create conflict with those Marvel characters.
Yeah, see the Defenders, they all can weave in somehow.
Yeah,
They all. Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking like my Punisher moment would be after 15 years of sitting on the freeway for 3 hours a day. Like that, I think that would push me over the edge. I'd start to myself.
I mean, from his military background too, he's probably has PTSD of just he's been in the desert all day fighting war somewhere in Iraq back in the day. You know,
he probably remembers playing cards with his like soldier friends and always losing, and it just built up over time, and finally he cracked.
Yeah. Patience, my friend. Patience. You got to know when to hold them and fold them, Frank.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to see Frank Castle tonight folding a lot of dudes up. You know, we've seen the footage in the trailer where he's got like a big metal pipe and he's just, beating the crap out of guys. I expect a lot of heavy gunplay and just him getting back to his roots. There's probably going to be a knife at some point that he bloodies up on somebody. So I think we're going to get peak Frank tonight.
TVMA.
TVMA, definitely.
It's gonna be a lot of people getting cut up tonight and shot. So viewer discretion advice.
Yep. So that's going to do it for tonight. We just want to remind you that we appreciate any comments in the comment section that maybe you agree, maybe you disagree with us, maybe you want to see something that you'd love for us to discuss in the future. Throw that down in the comments, and please give the video a like if you like what you're seeing. Helps out the channel so much. Also, subscribe. If you tell your friends about the show, share the show. All those things help us grow this show into be the biggest thing that it can possibly be. We're doing shows every Monday through Friday, a new show every single day. So we could really use all of your help sharing, getting the word out that the Villainz Lair is the premier place for your superhero news, whether that's in comics, television, TV. We're talking about all of it. So tomorrow we will be reviewing this Punisher special presentation tonight. We can't wait to watch it tonight and share our thoughts with you tomorrow. Before we finally get out of here, Alvin, any final thoughts you want to share?
I'm just excited for Punisher tonight, and I'm also excited for The Boys tomorrow. So got lots to talk about.
Yeah, so much good TV right now. We'll talk about it with you tomorrow and throughout the week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.